Hello everyone, in this video we're going to go through the different transformations and we're going to start off using the same ones that we did yesterday, but this time it's going to be a lot more structured and we're going to use Desmos.com as a calculator. So I have this pulled up on my laptop and I'm using Microsoft Edge. So I'm just going to open a new tab, go to Desmos.com/calculator. And anytime it's going to ask us to use a calculator, I'll just switch tabs and type whatever in there. It says we're starting off with f of x plus d. And we did that yesterday. And this first graph is a super easy graph. It's just 2x. So that means in our table, you have x and f of x equals 2x. Let's put some numbers like 0, 1, and 2 for x. And then we'll do 2 times 0, 2 times 1, 2 times 2. 0, 2, 4. So I have a point there, here, and here. We'll connect those with a line. There we go. The slope is 2, y-intercept is 0, x-intercept is 0. Then it says enter g of x, and then do f of x minus 4. So in my calculator, I'm going to do f of x equals 2x. Then I push enter. And then now in my next spot in the calculator, we're going to put g of x equals f of x minus, I think it said 4. Yeah, it says minus 4. And there's a new graph. Let's get a couple points from it. We have 0, negative 4, 2, 0, and 1, negative 2. G of x had negative 4, negative 2, and 0 in it. Let's see if I can use a different color. The reason why I'm using this app today is just so I can know exactly how this app is used for some of you. Some of you have used it. Here's 0, negative 4, 1, negative 2. Connect these with a line. Slope of the original is 2, 0, 0. Slope of the new one. Well, let's look at our calculator. Do these two lines, even if you zoom out, are they going to intersect each other? No, they're not going to intersect each other because we didn't change the slope. So the slope is still the number 2. Let's look at the y-intercept. Is the y-intercept still 0? If you touch it, it should highlight it, and it's 0, negative 4. So it's negative 4 is y-intercept. And the x-intercept, let's look. When do we touch the x-axis? We touch the x-axis at 2, 0. So we'll just say the number 2. So then out of these three things, the slope, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept, which one of them decreased by 4? Well, that's the y-intercept. The y-intercept decreased by 4. Then it says try these ones and see what's going to happen. So we're going to do g of x with the same f of x. The only difference is one time we're going to put plus 5, another time we're going to put minus 6, and the last time we'll put plus 1. So in this calculator, we're just going to change this one to be a minus 5. Nope, a plus 5. And then we need the slope, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept. These two lines, even if I zoom out, they're not intersecting, so that means that they're parallel. But if they're parallel, okay, so not a but if they're parallel, then they have the same slope, and my y-intercept here is 5. The slope didn't change, so it's still the number 2, and my y-intercept is going to be the number 5. let's see the x-intercept. It's the number negative 2.5, 0. Negative 2.5 was my x-intercept. And I'll leave these next two to you. So you're just going to come over here and change that plus to be a minus 6, or you'll change it to be a plus 1, and then fill in the answers for the y-intercept, x-intercept, and the slope. Tell me if you find a pattern. You should. We'll talk about the patterns at the very end of the video. Here's one that's different. This one is brand new for today. We have 2x, so we're using the same f of x. So I won't even fill in that top part because we just did it on the other page. It's the same thing, but the difference is the first thing we're going to graph is going to be f of x minus 3. So h of x, we'll change this to be h of x. We're not going to be adding anything, but we're going to go inside of the parentheses this time and put minus 3. F of x minus 3 is h of x. We are going to put this new graph on this space right here. Okay, so the orange one is the original, or red, and then the blue one is the new one. And the important points are 3, 0, and 0, negative 6. 3, 0, 0, negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it wasn't that one. It was this one. 6. Connect those two with a line. And the original one had 0, 0, and 1, 2. This top one is f of x. The bottom one is the one that we just did in Desmos, which is h of x. Okay, so that's just one graph that we drew. Now let's do these next ones and see. Oh, look, okay, I misread. This is where we're going to label the things. Slope is 2. Y-intercept of the original is 0. X-intercept of the original is also 0. Then the slope of the new one. Let's look at our graph. Are the lines touching? No, they stay separate the whole time, which means the slopes are equal. The slopes are equal because they're parallel lines. The y-intercept. The y-intercept was negative 6, and the x-intercept is 3. The reason why this next question asks what changed by 3 is because in here we said we're going to subtract 3 from x. So in the graph, which one of these three components, was it the slope, the y-intercept, or the x-intercept that changed by 3? It was the x-intercept. That's a straight 3 right there. But it didn't change by a minus 3. It changed by a plus 3. All right, let's look at these next three, and then we'll see if we can come up with a conclusion. H of x equals f of x plus 5. I'll do that one with you, and then you'll do the next two on your own and fill in these three things for each one of them. So f of x plus 5. H of x equals f of x, not minus 3, but plus 5. That goes in the parentheses. Now let's get some points, like the x-intercept is negative 5, and the y-intercept is 10. The y-intercept is 10, and the x-intercept was negative 5. Let's take a look at the two graphs and see if the slope changed. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. They still look parallel to me. So since the two lines are parallel, whatever the original slope is, the new slope is the same thing. H of x is going to have the same slope as f of x. And just to point it out, Here's the plus 5, and look at where it showed up. It showed up in the x-intercept. Go ahead and do the next ones, letters D and E, and see what you come up with. Come up with a prediction to put down here.